At the beginning, how much the while we're working with at a phaco with such cases of traumatic cataract or even traumatic lens subluxation, we have to think about how much is the stretching of the zonules. The zonule can be stretched up to 3.8 millimeters. So let's talk about sometimes we can face such abnormality while we are doing rexes. Like here, we can find that we have some abnormal insertions in the anterior lens capsule. So we can magnify here and we can see there is some filaments like zonules. So we have to ask, is there is an aberrant zonules or this is an extra zonules? That means there is no zonules on the equator. So sometimes this is a normal, but what will you think about the stretching of the capsule? So the third hand is the zonule and the capsule, which is the stretching and the ability to elongate and stretch. So even in such case with a young boy, I was doing a phaco and we can see how much is the strong, how much is the strong of the recoil of the zonule here. We can see how much I just stretch it about maybe in the middle of the pupil, then you can see nothing happened. That's why I was thinking about what will we do in such case. Here, a case of trauma. The patient didn't give us the good history, maybe my assistant or it was in our university, and while we are working, we just catch the bag of the capsule like here. So this is have an iatrogenic trauma. We capsules because the zonules never come like this way until it's just a traumatic zonule or you have some disease, or maybe in old age. This is a not old age case, so we have to move and think about what is the next step. So we can see here again in a slow motion what happened. Then the iatrogenic, that you just capture the zonule and you can find maybe more than 40% of the lens is caught by the phaco tip. So what will you do in such case of traumatic? In such cases, more than 50%, because you can see this is about 45% of zonule, but it's extended about 60%. So mainly if you have to treat such a case or to manage such case, you have to think about doing the rexes in the middle of the, not in the pupil, but the middle of the lens. So you have to be careful and try to think about that. You have to be a little bit smaller rexes, not a wide rexes, so you're not just not to come near the area of dehiscence. It's a mandatory to have to complete your rexes, because if you don't have, I don't think you have the opportunity to put on a CTR or something like that. Very minimal hydro section like here, and you can do I do an inverted pocket. Then you can, it's a soft cataract, so you can remove it by irrigation aspiration, as you see here. Then think about what we are going to do. Maybe I lost some. Here we put the CTR, the modified CTR, and you can use your second hand and just tie it and try to centralize the eyelet in the area of maximum, and try not to just to adjust the bag to be in the center. Then you can continue your case and put, even you can put a 3-piece set at the steps of the case, and this is the final view. So next case also we think I have a more extensive subluxation. It's the same like the other case, and you can just judge where to start and where to put your eyelets, just entering the lens. You don't have to need to do a large rexes, just on your IA. And sometimes you can put the rex, you can put the CTR or the modified CTR or Sione in the beginning, but we have some tricks here to put your modified CTR. You can use your third hand, because you have to look to the eyelets of the distal eyelets, so we can, if you have any incomplete rexes or something like that, you might have a cheese wiring of the Sione ring. So you have be careful that looking, you can use your left hand to give a track to implanting the Sione ring. Then you have to adjust the eyelet to be above the, like here. I'm trying to make it more obvious and try to rotate, just carefully to rotate it and inject more viscoelastic. And I have to take this eyelet above the rexes, like here. You can see I have to take it above, so you don't face the cheese wadding. You can use your fork, like here now. And finally, just rotate and adjust to the area of maximum subluxation, and you continue the case and you implant. So even also with the inverted pocket, where you don't have to make it, here you can adjust, not too tight, not too loose. Sometimes we can take more than a stitch. You can use 0.9 proline. You can take 2 or 3, because in the follow-up of these cases, we face some degradation of this proline after maybe a few years, and you can face in the bag dislocation. And this is the final. Okay. What about we still need more? I think we have to use, in such case, sometimes the more or less hard cataracts. So I have to use the capsular hooks, which is totally different from the iris hooks. You just implant, and even you have to adjust, not to be short. And this is a trick I have to say that you have to adjust, that putting the capsular hooks in the bag, you have to not to have it tight, not loose, to give the malleability of the bag. You have some fluctuation while you are working with a phaco or with the irrigation aspiration, so not be more tight and not loose, so you can have more or less space to work, like here. So it can go, and you can adjust, you can elevate, you can tighten it, you can lose it as you as the case comes, and then you can implant your manually or with injector. You can implant your CTR in the bag and implant the lens, and then after that you have to remove the capsular hooks. Okay, what about if, like Dr. Zaleha talked, this is a case before, and this is the second case. This patient after the operation has 3 layers of vision, one in the middle, one in the periphery, and irregular stigmatism. You have to do pupilloplasty even with a light brown, maybe medium brown iris, so it's very obvious in light. So you can use the maneuver of doing to complete maybe in the same stage, or you can do it in the second stage, because sometimes the pupil gives you a post-operative shape different from the time of trauma. Then you have to adjust the pupil here, so you can even manage the stigmatism or the irregular vision he has, and you can adjust your pupil like here. And this is the final with a round pupil, and even you have to take more and more, so you don't have even any light comes from the peripheral iridectomy. And this is the final Sione CTR and the fake one, the pupilloplasty. And this is the beginning, the case, the second interference, and the last one. So we still need more, like this case, very hard trauma. I use also the other, I can use also the Sione ring, and always look not to forget that sometimes you have a hidden trauma, and everything you lose it in the meanwhile. Like in such case, you can find that you lost all your zonules, and you find that the lens is drawn back. Thank you. And this is another case for iatrogenic trauma you didn't find, and you find that the lens is coming back in the vitreous. Thank you for all, and invite you to the EOS 20 to 25 at 7 to 9 May in Cairo, inshallah. Thank you very much.